Greetings and welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be talking about the 2020 release of Dua Lipa's second album, Future Nostalgia. Now, a lot of people might know Dua Lipa from songs such as New Rules, which came out a few years ago. And I remember when I first heard the song, I thought it was, a great song. But the thing about it was, at the time, music was so bad that I kind of had a negative preliminary idea before I even heard the chorus. Just, oh my god, music is so bad. And there was a little sample, like a scratch sample in the chorus that just really made me like the song instantly. And I was like, this is different. There's something about the song that it's modern, but there's something about it that's just very, there's a little more depth to it than just, the lyrics and the melody. There's something to it. And it made me take attention to her. But Dua is not one of those celebrities that gets a lot of attention. She doesn't have any controversies. She doesn't collaborate with a lot of artists. She's not relatively known other than her music, which I think is a good thing. And I think for a pop star to have that kind of name on her without any kind of performance that got a lot of attention or, something she fell into half-assedly, it's just good music. And that's really rare. A lot of people compare her to like Rita Ora or Charlie XCX or even Tove Lo. Although I feel that they have a lot more push from the record companies without the hits. Not that they're without merit. It's just I think Dua has taken it to a step further than those colleagues. In terms of modern, like the modern day divas, you have like Lady Gaga and Katy Perry and such like that. I think even Dua kind of oversteps them because she's able to, what I think, combine retro music with modern music. And I think she showed that really well with One Kiss, the song she did with Calvin Harris. I did say she didn't do much collaborations. That was one. But that song, again, it wasn't known as this like Calvin Harris track. It really was Dua's song that really, it was an amazing song. And I wasn't a big fan of Calvin before that, actually. I thought his dance music was a little bit more bland and rhythmless, a little lifeless, a little more too commercial, I suppose. But with One Kiss, it showed that Dua could, mix this retro sound with modern sounds without compromising either's integrity. And I feel like a lot of artists, especially Lady Gaga, they do this thing where they like to, I guess, pay tribute to retro music, whether it's the 40s or the 80s or the 90s. And it just, something about it to where it doesn't quite grab my attention the way that most nostalgic projects might. But I think Dua, I don't know if it's lack of pretension or the lack of something. There's something that's not there that Lady Gaga does that I think I like this more of. So I think it's like less is more kind of thing. But either way, with the success of One Kiss with Calvin Harris, I don't know if she got the idea from that to go more nostalgic or, she was wanting to and that's why she did One Kiss. And then either way, I'm assuming that because of the success, the record company was like, hey, we can have success with this. Her first album did pretty well in the US, but it only went to number 27 on the charts in terms of the Billboard 200. But it did have some hits, like Be the One and also, that was that one song, New Rules. But I remember when I heard this album was coming out, I got rather excited. And then when the first single came out, Don't Start Now, it didn't blow me out of the water. It really didn't. I thought it was good. It was catchy. A little simplistic in the lyrical structure. It's about some evil villain ex-boyfriend who is just driven to break your heart and laughs maniacally as you cry. And, basically a total narcissist type song where she's in love with the wrong person and has moved on. And it's kind of like a girl power anthem. Even then, it wasn't my favorite song that was coming out. 2020 has been a great year, by the way, for music. You have Tame Impala, you have Doja Cat, and you have Harry Styles, who, my God, amazing music. And it wasn't until she started releasing other songs like Physical that really got me into the album. Physical, I think, is the peak of 80s retro kind of step back in time music where, you're definitely inspired by that music from yesteryear, but you have I would say, a very strong idea of what you want today, like without making it sound like actual 80s music, but still very much influenced by that. And I think she really just grabbed me with that song. And when that song came out and I heard it, I was ready. I was ready for the album to come out. And it was still months away. I mean, the album it barely came out, but the singles have been out forever. And the album got leaked a few weeks ago, and she pushed the date back, forward 1 week. So it was going to come out 7 days earlier. And I think that was a great idea because right now, what we're going through in the world, it's great to have new music. I was lucky enough to get this in the mail. French Amazon and French stores do not sell the album the vinyl record for some reason, so I had to kind of go on eBay and buy from there. But I'm glad I did because it's one of the freshest albums I've heard by a non-legend, I would say, in 20 years. I mean, not considering Madonna or Janet, Mariah, Toni Braxton, those are legends. We're not gonna compare. But in terms of like her peers of the past 2010s, Keisha or Meghan Trainor or Taylor Swift, this is by far the strongest record of the past 15, 20 years. It is disco, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and now it's everything. A similar record by that has that idea is like Donna Summer's I Remember Yesterday from 1977, where she kind of went down the decades and paying homage to all of them. That's a good album. It's not quite as successful as this. I don't know if she just had better influences, or I don't know if it just matches my music taste more, but I really feel like this is going to be like a legendary pop record, and I'm really excited about having a copy of it and being able to tell you guys. I will say this, I'm happy she only put 11 songs on the standard release. There is talk of a deluxe release by Dua. She's verbally confirmed it, although that doesn't mean it's going to come out, that there will be a deluxe edition with bonus tracks. She did do a lot of songwriting with like Nile Rodgers and Max Martin. Those songs are unreleased. They are not on here. But it'd be really cool to hear the Nile Rodgers songs. But another thing I like, there's no guest rappers. There's no duets. There's only 11 songs, meaning one disc on the album. I love it. It's simplicity. It's less is more. It's nothing but Dua and her producers. And it's one disc. It's a tight record. It's extremely tight. One of my complaints about, I guess, the past 10 years is just albums are so long. There's just so much filler because streaming, the more songs you have, the most likely they'll stream all those songs, meaning you'll have more revenue from the streaming. Now that vinyls are coming back and being more popular than ever, people are like, oh, we should make stronger albums again. It's kind of like that whole vinyl, CD, like anytime you can put a lot of stuff on something that's new material, there's always a chance of more filler. It's just how it is. And I love that there's only 11 songs, and I love there's only one disc. I love one disc albums because they're typically stronger. It doesn't mean they have the best songs in the world, but they're typically more cohesive and stronger just because they have to be. You don't have a lot of albums that are just they're one disc, but they're they're bad. They're just full of bad songs. At least by ours you like. I will say this about the album, it's probably the worst feeling vinyl cover. It's like a plastic cardboard. I don't know. But let's talk about the music because I've been rambling on for 8 minutes about nothing related. The first song is Future Nostalgia. The song kind of gets the point out about, it's kind of a little bit about her celebrity. But it's more about her making her statement of what the music is, what this song is about, what this album is about. It's future nostalgia. She's like laying it out saying, we're going to the future, we're today, meaning nostalgia, and then also in the back because of the retro feel. It kind of reminds you a little bit of like Daft Punk in the beginning, but other than the first few seconds, it's not really, it's inspired, I suppose, by Daft Punk, but it definitely doesn't take that total route. I heard a comparison. I was like, no, that's not really what she's going for. It's just strong hooks in the song. It's a really great opener. You can tell she's having a lot of fun in the studio with it, and it's just a really powerful chorus. And And while I love it, it was one of the first singles. I don't know if I would have released it as a single like they did. It's not the strongest song, but it's always great to kind of keep the juiciest gems in the album kind of as a surprise. I think that's great to release maybe two strong songs and then a third album track that's not the best. I think that was a good idea, and that's one of the ones they did with the song, and it's a great song. But it kind of just gives you a taste of what the album has to offer overall. So definitely great song, and I love it. Great opener. Next song is "Don't Start Now," which is the album's first single. Now, when I first heard it, it was on my iPods, earpods, iPods. And I will say this: hearing it on vinyl is another thing. It sounds gorgeous on vinyl. Has the licky bass line. It's beautiful and soft and strong and tender. And like when you listen to albums on vinyl, like because the music kind of takes over a little bit more and kind of gets you in that environment, it's more of an experience. You don't listen to the lyrics as much. So yes, the boyfriend is still portrayed as like a villain, as a diabolical schemer, and she's too strong for that now. But again, it's just on vinyl, it sounds really, really, really good, and definitely one of my favorite songs now. Next song is "Cool." This song, there's a few songs on the album where melodically maybe or lyrically the songs aren't super strong, but there's just something about the production, and this is definitely one of those songs where the production really takes over, and it's just a cool, simple love song, but it's so well done by the production and fits so well with her beautiful vocals that it really just becomes a great laid back song compared to the rest, because a lot of the song is very dance oriented. A lot of the album kind of sounds like Madonna's Confessions at times, where Stuart Price, who produced some of the songs on the album, or even maybe he influenced it or something, because there's some other ones. But yeah, it's just a laid back, well produced song. It just kind of grabs you because of its simplicity. And yeah, it may not be my favorite. It may not be the song I'm voting for, but it's a great song. Now the next song, "Physical," that's where the album becomes legendary. "Physical" was one of the first songs released as a a hype single. They did make a video for it, and it was released. Now this song just wow. This is probably the best song of the year, and based on the past 10 years, I want to say this is going to be the song of the 2020s, the decade. I can't really see a song being better than this. It's 80s inspired. In fact, it lifts the chorus melody from "Torture" by the Jacksons. If you go back and watch that video and listen to it, it has a very similar melody. Although it's not sampling it, they're not actually lifting it. It's just heavily inspired. Although you do have to change the pitches and the speeds a little bit. It's definitely there. You have to do all these things, but it's there. Yeah, that's "Physical" is just one of those amazing songs. Definitely inspired by Madonna and Donna Summer. Yeah, it's one of the songs you have to listen to. I don't want to say the best song on the album yet, but if you don't know her, check this song out. "Physical" is just an amazing song. It's very 80s driven. A lot of people compare it to Olivia Newton-John's "Physical," but it's not. I mean, just because you say "let's get physical," that's not really. That's not enough. Yeah, it's definitely much more of Jackson's "Torture." Not Michael Jackson, the Jacksons. They had an album, I think right after "Thriller," and one of the songs was "Torture." It has a very dark video, by the way. Speaking of this video for "Physical," a lot of Dua's early criticism was no stage presence. Although I feel with this album, she definitely did her homework, and she had that stage presence that she was lacking in the first album. And I never saw it as a big problem. I mean, most of our pop stars lack stage presence. I mean, the past 10 years, you have Katy Perry and Meghan Trainor on stage. They're not exactly Madonna. They're not exactly, Diana Ross. So Dua Lipa definitely overstepped all of them right now. And with the video, just power punch. She's done other videos for it where she's an aerobics dancer. That one's okay too. But the original video where she's in the like the disco area. That's the disco. Really strong song. Yeah. I can't see a song being better than this in 2020, and it's by far the best 80s inspired song that we've had in a long time. Great song. Next song is Pretty Please. Another laid back song that's just the production takes over and the little details of the background just envelop you in the song and make it, an amazing track to listen to. I love it. It's, oh, sorry. It's yeah, it's just a simple, catchy love song. Um, there were comparisons to this album and Gwen Stefani, and I think that kind of like Cool and Pretty Please kind of go there, where they're a little bit more simplistic. Kind of like Gwen Stefani's like album tracks from like her first album, like the songs that weren't videos. Just simple, sweet pop songs, but this one has much better production. Like the background, and it just gives it that flavor that I think that a different producers, like if they would have actually let Max Martin produce, or Dr. Luke, I think that would have missed the point. Like I think it would. I'm glad she picked who she picked. I'm glad the album is the way it is. The next song is Hallucinate. This is probably, after Physical, the song you have to listen to on the album. It is explosive. It's one of the songs done by Stuart Price, although he only co-produced it. It's rather weird. The whole album sounds like it could have been done by Stuart Price, but he only had like a minor role in a few songs, which I thought that was rather odd, because I really thought that he kind of was the, second-hand man to Dua, but no, he wasn't. Hallucinate is just an explosion of pop in your ears. It has this weird kind of chorus and like a vibrato of her voice, and it grabs you. It has like a disco beat with like 80s and 90s. It's just every era combined. And even kind of has like a 2010s like Gaga, like "Mama, my mind, mama." Like it really, like, not that Gaga invented that, but I'm just saying, like, it really just encaptures all eras. And it's kind of like something that like Danny Minogue might have done with Neon Nights, or Kylie would have done with Fever. It's just really good, like amazing, like all pop music is like sugary, but this is like cherry lollipop in your mouth, kind of like explosion of flavor. If you like cherry, I don't know if you... Tell me your favorite lollipop flavor. The next song is Love Again. Now this song samples Your Woman. It's an alternative track from the 90s by White Horse. I'm not a big fan of White Horse or that song, but I do love the sample. I always thought that would make a great sample for a great pop song. And Dua comes along with her producers. I'm not sure whose idea it was, and they took that dun 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 thing, that creepy pop vibe, and they made it into a dance song. Holy crap, it's great. Yeah, it's just one of those songs, that it's combines like the retro 90s with modern day, and you kind of really can't even tell that it's a step back in time or a throwback to 90s because of the production and such. It just meshes so well, but it's a perfect song to sample, and I've always wanted someone sample it, and there, here she does. The song is just, relatively simple to, Love Again. Someone kind of, I guess, went past her expectations, and now she has the drive to love again. So, by the way, I don't have a Dua shirt. I need to get a Dua shirt. I kind of just grabbed what I could grab, and yeah, it's I need a Dua shirt. I just realized that when watching myself in the video. The next song is Break My Heart, and this is another song that samples Need You Tonight by INXS from the 80s. Although this literally samples just the melody of the da 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 da. It doesn't actually like sample the guitars or anything. It just kind of, I guess, takes the melody and makes it into the melody of the track instead of the instrumental. And it's good. It's a good song. It was it's a video now. I think she just released the video. Yeah, it's one of the stronger songs on the album as well. The whole thing, like this is just like amazing. All these songs in a row is just amazing pop songs. Um, it's I don't want to say it's modern. It kind of takes like 2000s era music, and then it also takes like 80s like that. But it doesn't sound very 80s or 2000s, but it definitely has the flavors. I don't know if that makes sense. It's kind of like a layered cake, and then inside they have it. It's like a special surprise. I don't know. Um, it's hard to define that song as much, but definitely it's a dance song. It's modern dance, but also more funky and rhythmic than most recent dance songs. The next song is "Good in Bed." This song is definitely inspired, I think, by like '60s. A little bit of like Amy Winehouse in there as well, Lily Allen, but I think that Dua does it a little bit better. Just by I think it's her voice. I mean, you can't really compare much with Amy Winehouse, but I think she attempts to at least get inspired by the same kind of music, that like '60s. Not my favorite kind of sound, and definitely kind of takes the album in a different direction so late in the game. Like this is the 10th song, but Good in Bed is just basically about people who have high sexual chemistry but nothing else. Like they try to make a relationship work, or at least one person does, but the other person's just looking for a sexual connection. Um, it's a good song. Definitely, I like the fact she has the bravado to talk about sexuality in such a frank manner on her album, and yeah, I think it's great. Again, the music is a little bit more '60s retro. It's okay. I don't know. It's as perfect as it could be, and I'm sure a lot of people love it if you like that music. If you don't, then you probably won't like it as much. But it's definitely a good song. It's Dua makes it work as much as possible, and I think she's like, okay, I know this song is a little bit different from the rest of the album, but it's still going to be a great song on its own merits. The last song is "Boys Will Be Boys." This song is more like Baroque. It's the most elegant on the album. It's not a ballad. It's I don't know, like Baroque. Yeah, there's no way to talk about it. It's a simple pop song just about like equalization of the sexes, and it talks about some serious matters about women and how they feel in society, and how boys will be boys. Like boys kind of get away with all these things that can go pretty far and pretty dark, and women are always kind of secondary. And I think she's saying, okay, you guys will be boys, but we will be women. Let's take back what they're trying to take from us, but will not. And I think it's a great message for like young girls, and even like women, men, whoever's listening, just about the respect and equality and liberty of women, and how nobody should live in a world where they're just because of your sex or gender, you're going to be seen as less than. It's a great closer. Again, it doesn't really fit the rest of the album, but she does make it work. It's just kind of, I guess the album starts off dancey and kind of slows down gradually at the end. So this is slower than the previous track, but it's cute. It's a good song. At the end, she has a all female choir, like I think little girls. It's cute too. I would say probably melodically and production wise my least favorite on the album, but I think it's a really strong message, and it's really well written. And I think it's great when you can have a political statement that doesn't kind of badger you over the head. Like it's subtle, but it's still very on point. I'm sorry, to the point. And that's rare, because usually we get these songs from other pop stars where it's just in your face, and but this song has a lot more heart to it. I don't think it was made as a way to capitalize on anything that's going on in our political climate. I think it's literally just a great song, and she wanted to make purpose on the album. So it's like pop with purpose, she called it. And this is definitely one of those songs that does that. Yeah, I think I like I said, it's not my favorite song to like listen to, but I think it has a beautiful message. And then when it's on the album, it's a good closer. There were some unreleased songs that leaked on the album. None of them were really that amazing, so I can kind of see why they were left off. And like she is doing a deluxe album, like I said, and I'm not sure what I think about that. I mean, this exists as is, so you're gonna have this if you buy it now, and it's gonna be the tight album it is. But I think with more songs, I think it'll be interesting, but it could ruin the like momentum of the record, or make it better. I don't know. I know she recorded a song with Miley Cyrus. I'm not sure if that will be released. And she is open to other collaborations. But like I said, when she's by herself and she is on the entire album, it just, I love when pop stars do that. There's no intros, there's no outros, there's no interludes, there's no stupid jokes in the beginning of a track, there's no acapella in the beginning of a song. It's like pop perfection. Like it's something that we've needed for a long time. And I know I'm not in love with the last two songs, but I do like them. And because of that, I think this is one of the strongest albums of the past 20 years, 15, 20 years. Because I think about like around 2005, 2006 is when music kind of started going a little downhill, became a little bit more gimmicky, and I don't think it was saved. And I want to say that she's like one of our new saviors of pop. And I know there's a lot of channels and people who agree with that, but I think that she's saving it from like a long dark period, like the dark ages of pop. And I'm just really grateful that we're living in a time with an artist like that who's able to bring this music back, along with Harry Styles, who has an amazing record, and I would definitely review his, or Tame Impala's new album, or Doja Cat's new album. These four newer artists are just making the best music that we have right now, by far. Based on the singles released by other artists, I can't really see a better album coming out this year than Future Nostalgia. So definitely pick it up on vinyl. Like I said, it sounds better on vinyl than it sounds on MP3 or iTunes or whatever. It might be harder to get because of what's going on right now, but eBay is probably the best way to go if your country doesn't have distribution of it, which mine doesn't right now. So I had to wait a while for this too, by the way. It took like 2 weeks. Usually it's like 5 days. So yeah, I think, oh, by the way, my favorite song on the album is Physical, and then Hallucinate, because I said it earlier I was going to say it, and I kind of made it obvious at the time what I thought was going to be the best. But either way, definitely pick up this album. Check out this. Also, check out her first album, which is just self-titled. There is a 3-disc vinyl complete edition that is available for sale. It has bonus tracks, and I know I just talked trash about bonus tracks, but this one has like One Kiss, which you need One Kiss on vinyl, and Be the One and New Rules. All of them are on separate discs, but they're available. So anyways, thank you for watching, and let me know your favorite song on the album and what you think of Dua's new album, Future Nostalgia. Like if you like the video, and subscribe if you love the video, and I look forward to our next review, and have a great day.